Good morning, students. Today we will cover parking studies, and in this we will be covering two topics: uses of parking studies and various aspects of investigation during parking studies. So let's start with the parking studies uses. Now, there broadly we can divide it into six main uses. First is to collect the required information about the capacity and use of existing parking facilities. Now, before taking any measures for the betterment of conditions, data regarding availability of parking space, extent of its usage, and parking demand is essential. So parking demand, very important category of this parking designing and maintenance and layout aspect, which we get the idea from parking studies only. So third is, it is also required to estimate the parking fares. Now parking surveys are intended to provide all these information. Fourth we can say is, since the duration of parking varies with different vehicles, several statistics are used to assess the parking need. Fifth, we can say we need to know the area required for parking through parking studies. And last, we can say that parking studies are useful to organize or make new space for parking. So students, I hope you have understood the uses of parking studies. Now let us see what are the various aspects to be investigated during parking studies. Now, broadly, there are three aspects that we must investigate. The first is parking demand. Now, how we can investigate parking demand through parking studies? By three methods. First method, we can take a guarded area and we can make the cordon counts of the selected area and recording accumulation of vehicles during the peak hours. How we can record the accumulation of vehicles during peak hours? What we can do is, we can record what is the traffic volume of that area and we can deduct the outgoing traffic from that area, and then we can get what is the number of accumulation of vehicles during the peak hours. Now second method we can try for parking demand is, we can count the number of vehicles parked in the area under study during different periods of the day. Now this method is useful when the parking demand is less than the space available for parking. By noting the registration number of each parked vehicle at any desired time interval, 30 minutes or 1 hour depending upon convenience, it is possible to estimate the duration of parking of each vehicle at the parking area. Now, but the third method through which we can investigate this aspect is, we can interview the drivers of parked vehicles, shop owners, and other vehicle owners in the locality. This method is very useful when the parking demand in the study area is higher than the parking space available. So now what is the second aspect that we must see? The second aspect is parking characteristics. Now, the study is directed to note the present parking practices prevalent in the area under consideration and general problems also in the parking. So, in case of curb parking, curb is the raised portion of the road that you can see in the image in the photograph. Yeah, and you can see the vehicles are parked along the curb. So, it is known as curb parking. It is also necessary to study the parking pattern and whether there is any interference of smooth flow of the traffic, and the accidents involved during parking and unparking operations. Third category that we must investigate is parking space inventory. The area under study is fully surveyed and a map is prepared showing all places where curb parking and off-street parking facilities can be provided to meet the parking demands. Now, the job of the traffic engineer is to strike a balance between traffic capacity and parking demands and to design proper facilities for parking. So, students, hope you have understood uses of parking studies as well as various aspects to be investigated during parking studies. So wish you all the best. Please prepare your assignments and submit it today.